Hey folks, I'm David. This is Living Texas at Hidden Spring Farm. Well, if you've been following the channel in the last few videos, you'll understand some of the reason for our frustration with dealing with a certain builder. There's going to be an update a little bit later on in the video on that. They did, if you saw the last video, complete the building in the dark. And wait till you see the building and some of the problems with the building. I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit and give you an update also on them and let you know where we are on that. I know a couple of you guys, or actually more than a couple of you guys, been emailing telling us to take them to court and all this other kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing turns out, and I'm really not looking forward to dealing with it. But in the meantime, y'all know I've been hurting to put dirt in where the fence line's going to go back over here. If you saw us putting in the post, me, my son, and my wife were putting in some posts where we're putting in a gate to close in this backside of the property. There was a 2.5 foot difference in elevation, and I need to take this extra dirt here and get it filled in over there on that. We've got some stumps from when they were prepping the land and getting it ready for the tiny home. I've got to move these stumps. Hopefully there's no copper-headed rattle moccasins in there because I don't have my gloves with me. Anyway, we got to get those moved, and I'm just going to put a pile over in the trees and make a little area that birds can put their nest in and things like that. But I need to take this dirt right here from this point and try to get all this extra dirt here taken out and moved. I really would like to use some over here in this low spot next to the tiny home. So I'm probably going to backfill that hole just a little bit. So anyway, let's get to it on this, get some of this stuff moved out of the way, get this dirt moved, and we'll be good. All right. Well, we got some dirt hauled in here. I don't know if it's going to be enough to take up that 2 foot difference, but it's a good start. This is what we got left of this dirt, which is still quite a bit. So the idea is to take this dirt, and once electrical's in, is to backfill this over here, get this concrete stuff out right here, scrape it out with a rake and a shovel, and then backfill this part over here. All right, so I promised you guys I would take you over here and show you this building. The idea of the building was to give my dad a little room. He's never had anything like this before. So let me get out here and just kind of show you from the front of it and give you an idea of what we're talking about. He's going to turn in the driveway, come up, and he's going to have this to park underneath. These are the end caps that I was telling you. Nobody else does these. And we came up with this idea on a shop that we had built at our other home when we lived about 4.5 hours south of here before we moved up here 3.5 years ago. So the idea is when you're driving down the road and you see these carports, you see all those silver legs sticking down. Well, we have the headers put in. That doubles up on the leg here. And then we have the inside of the leg closed up. And then we cap the front and the back with color trim. As you can see over there on my big shop, we have red and brown. That's the idea. That was the idea on the legs, and they didn't know how to do that. And it was a pain in the hind end for these guys to understand how to do this. Now, that being said, that's the only trim on this building that they don't normally do. So look at this shoddy craftsmanship. They just come up here and cut that, left it like that, instead of going up the side and finishing up, covering up some of that like they're supposed to do when they build a building properly. This piece right here, they put this up at almost 10 o'clock at night, and look what they've done. Tore it up, cut it, and they put this piece in after I saw them damage another piece and put it in wrong, and I made them replace it. I said, I'm not paying you till you replace it. And then when they did this, I kept enough money out that they would come back and do that, and that's going to be a different story here in a minute. But they put the doorknob on wrong. We're talking about employees and companies that could care less about the customer anymore. So it's actually a nice roll-up door, but they didn't adjust it like they were supposed to. This is the inside of the little storage area we got for him. He's never had anything like this before. Now, that being said, you can see the door's crooked on here. Door setting crooked on this. So, and then up, I don't know if I can get the camera up in there or not. I don't think I can. But just to show you, there's a space that goes between the door and the front, and it opens all the way to the inside of the ceiling. Let's see if I can get the camera over, show you a top shot. Well, we ordered a piece that cost $150 according to them to cover that space up. But when they came to put this up, mind you, this is the second crew that I bragged about. That crew come out here, and at the end of the night, they didn't have that part on there. So just to give you an idea how the day went that day, and I don't know if I'm having this in the other video or not that's previous to this, but the metal that they put up, they scratched themselves. Not the first crew, this crew. They scratched. You can see here. You can see here. You can see there. They put this piece on. This piece here on the back was a damaged piece from the first crew. And what this crew did is they took a new piece, put it up, and they had the frame on the inside put together wrong. So when they put the lateral screws up to hold the building up, when they adjusted the framing that they had to adjust on the inside, then that would have left holes in that sheet. So they went and got an old piece and put it up here. And so I was looking at it, and I was looking at some of these other scratches that they put on there. And one of them asked me, well, what do you think? You like? And I said, no, I'm not real happy with it. And if I don't like it, I'm not paying until it's done right. So he called his boss. His boss told him to take the whole building down and bring it in, that they're not going to put up a building. So talking through a translator that was a friend of the crew that was out here, I told him, I said, I can promise you, y'all are not taking that building down. I guarantee you, you're not taking that building down. So I told him, I said, get the building finished and I'll deal with the company over this. That was until they caught an attitude towards the end of the day and then just started throwing stuff together. So I held a little bit of the money out that was supposed to be held out. And to be honest with you, I was trying to be fair. I left the amount to put that deal over the door and just to replace this. And I told myself, I told my dad, I told my son, I said, you know what? I'm not even going to deal with them over this scratches over here. I'll go get some touch-up paint. I'll deal with it myself. There's scratches all over, just to be honest with you. And I'd have to hold you 10 more minutes to show you every one of them. And it's hard to see that when you know where they are with a black building. Now, can you see it from the road? No, you can't. But I didn't pay for a building that was scratched, that you couldn't see the scratches from the road. I paid for a building that was not scratched. So I talked to the guy. He says, we'll come back Saturday morning. We'll put that part in that goes above the door, and we'll replace that trim that was messed up. And then we'll call it even. I said, I'm good with that. I just need some touch-up paint, and we'll deal with the rest of it with ourselves, and we can all go about our separate ways. Well, yesterday was Saturday. Guess who didn't show up? Yeah, that's right. They didn't show up to put the piece in like they said they were going to do, and they didn't show up to put this trim up. So right now, I'm trying to figure out on YouTube standards and all, if I can call this company out on YouTube. If I can, I'm going to call them out on YouTube, and I'm definitely going to let everybody know who they are. And if they don't get 1 or 2 buildings because of what they did to us, then that'll be payback enough for me. But I just don't want anybody else to go through what we went through. This building was supposed to be done on a Thursday. They get it done at 10 o'clock on Sunday night. A week ago today, they get the building done. And it's just unsat, man. I don't know what else to say about it. Man, I sure wish you guys would comment if you think I'm overreacting, or if you think that that's just the way life is now, we should accept it as we go, or if you guys are busting your butt to make $1, and then every dollar you put out there, you expect to get a return for what you're purchasing, and that return does not turn out to be what you're paying for. So y'all tell me what you think. I know some of you said, well, I'd have told him to come get the building, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I really, believe me, I contemplated it for a little bit. But then the electrical that's coming in is going to come into this building first. And then we're coming out of this building, going over to the home. So we really needed this thing in. So I had to kind of bite the bullet on some of it. And I know that's kind of contrary to what I'm talking to you about. But man, I'm really getting tired of dealing with this project. The reason I'm dealing with it is because it's my dad, and I love him, and I want to get this thing taken care of so he can have a decent part of his life here, you know, in his 80s and 90s and all that kind of stuff like that. And, you know, from a distance, it doesn't look bad. It really doesn't. I'll take you over here. And if this doesn't work, I'll put a picture of what we took inside the video when I edit it, but I'll put it in there but let you guys see what you think. That's the tiny home and the little storage area and carport. So we got a lot of work still to go. Anyway, we got part of the dirt moved over here. I got you up to date on this right here. I'll keep you up to speed. But this project is getting pretty close to being done. We appreciate you guys sticking with us. I really appreciate the emails, the encouraging emails. Those are always awesome. Thanks again. We appreciate you joining us on Living Texas Hidden Spring Farm. I'm going to put some videos up on the screen. Hope you guys enjoy those. Y'all have a blessed day.